Babies get into trouble very often, and sometimes their parents have no chance. The strong water flow. A poor cow is trapped in the canal. It's scary to imagine what could have happened if the rescuers hadn't done their job so delicately. They had only one try to catch the animal into the excavator bucket. Well done. Sometimes dogs can act as rescuers ready to help their fellow animals. It's worth to mention Labradors are trained to save people from water, and he coped easily with a little relative. Good boy. After the destruction of Hakova hydroelectric station, a lot of people and animals required help. We want to show you some of these. Look at these frightened eyes. The poor kitty swam to the rescuer's boat by itself. Now it is safe, as well as this dog, though it's still scared even sitting in the boat. And here a man says, some people are carrying jewelry and someone is taking treasures more valuable than gold. It was a green-eyed Sphinx cat, which, as it appeared to be, wasn't even the woman's pet. What a kind heart. Some dogs don't mind swimming after their owners. Such a high water level. It's amazing how this big, burly guy endured waiting for rescuers. Several saved dogs were waiting for him. It's great. And here comes one more big fella. A sweet Maine Coon is safe now too. Somebody was provided a baby bath as a boat, but someone resisted and denied help, while the others were happy to it. This raccoon was trapped in the wild forest and got rather aggressive to people who were trying to set the unhappy animal free. Hunters scatter traps all over the forests and sometimes forget about them, while helpless animals get into and suffer from pain and fear. The raccoon was so frightened that it didn't let people come close. It has very sharp teeth, and the man, who was trying to open the trap, was afraid that his boots would get bitten through. The raccoon got free and ran away to the forest as quick as it could. The man who saved him was very happy. Simon from Wildlife Aid was called out to rescue a fox in a builder's yard. The poor fox fell into a gap between a wall and a fence. On coming to the place, he thought it would be a really hard work to take the animal, but Simon was really lucky.
That's the main thing. Come on, fella. That was dead lucky. Dead lucky.
He skillfully pulled the fox out with the grasper very quickly. The animal was frightened, and Simon had to be really careful not to let the fox bite him. At last, he managed to grasp it with his hands. The rescuer released it nearby. Among the huge woodpile, a little puppy was crying for help.
Yeah, I can hear.
The people from Happy Dog Project, who had heard the little thing, were trying to find him. At last, they did it. The pup didn't look injured or hurt, and the rescuers just took him out. They gave him some drink and took the guy with them. But if they hadn't found him, the creature could have had a very poor destiny. In winter, wild animals got into trouble very often. This beautiful wolf was trapped in a freezing river and was about to lose his life when a rescue team got it out of the water. The condition of the creature was so bad that it went unconscious. The people were trying to handle a medical emergency, but they failed. They couldn't bring the wolf around and took the poor animal to the hospital. There, the doctors spent a lot of time and care trying to cure the wolf step by step, but their efforts paid off. The wolf got better at last. It spent some time in the hospital and after a while was set free. This wild piglet was likely to die. The little thing fell down into the well and couldn't get out. The poor piglet was moving all the time because if he stopped, he was sure to drown. But there were some kind-hearted people who wanted to help this tiny boy. One of them went down into the well. When a baby piglet had almost no force, he took the little creature out. The piglet was so scared and tired that he couldn't even resist when a man held him in his hands. After a good meal and some medical help, this boy was set free. Some awful accidents happen not only to people, but to animals too. This dog was hit by a train, and his limbs were terribly injured. The people who found him were full of sorrows and thought they had to put him to sleep, but they decided to try to save him. 3 of the dog's legs were completely crushed and had to be amputated. The operation took 3 hours, and the doctors managed to save his life. The dog named Deepak survived, and after 6 months, he almost completely recovered. Now, in spite of having only 1 full leg, he is a good swimmer and has a lot of fun with other dogs. Sometimes animals suffer because of losing their homes. So, this guy happened to rescue baby squirrels. The tree they lived in was cut down, and the creature badly needed to be cared for. In one of the logs, the guys found a bunch of baby squirrels that were so little that they even had no fur.
Oh, look at it, dude. Look, it's like yawning. Do you see that?
The rescuers took them very gently and put them in a basket. Then they took them to a rescue shelter where specialists would help them to survive. This man enjoys traveling with his pet dog, rafting again and no sign of trouble. But the water stream made the boat move toward the fallen tree. A strong hit, the dog fell over, and the stream started carrying it under the tree. Fortunately, the pet hung onto its lead. The owner reacted quickly and pulled it out into the boat. The trip continued, and soon the accident was forgotten. Rescuers had received a call about saving a dog that was fully stuck in tar near an abandoned building. The dog could have been left unnoticed, but it begged people to help. It was a complicated case, but everything turned out well. All the tar was washed away from the dog, and the dog decided to clean itself a little bit too, rubbing against the hay. A man decided to record the stormy sea on his camera near the shore when he suddenly saw a cat that first seemed to look drowned, but the cat appeared to cry for help. So the man left the camera to his wife and rushed into the water. The confused woman didn't record the moment of the rescue. Well, as you can see, the cat is now on the shore. The poor one drank a lot of water, but it's all right now.
Ой, маленькая, наголодалась.
Swim away in the sea. The sharp spikes from the ground and mangroves could be a barrier. The tortoise was lucky that boiling hot day, as this man was nearby. This woman helps homeless animals find new owners. This baby was thrown away to a landfill. What a cruel thing to do. Look at these innocent little eyes. The babe was taken to a shelter in hopes to find new loving owners. An abandoned dog was rescued during extreme flooding. The rescue team spotted the pup scared and alone on the porch of a flooded home. The sweet smile on the canine's face says it all. The poor guy had no way to escape the rising floodwaters. But fortunately, people found him and brought him to safety. Another dog who struggled from the storm was rescued as well. She appeared to have been left behind. Also, one reporter saved the pup who was about to drown in the rising floodwaters. And another rescue team pulled 2 cats out of the water. After, they brought them to safety. So do you see how storms can be dangerous for animals? But people always rush to rescue them. This doggy with a sad face got stuck in a pond with wastewater. Look at him. He must be really upset about this situation. A policeman took him back. He's not sad anymore. Be careful, sweet boy. A poor kitten fell into a river. The watermarks from her trying to get out is so sad. She's such a smart kitty. She used that blanket and saved. Not only people get in trouble, but animals suffer too. Thankfully, this dog was lucky. When the waters from the overflowing river washed the pup from the stone, it was trying hopelessly to climb the bridge wall, but failed, falling into the water again and again. After that, the clever dog managed to get to the stones near the riverbank, risking being washed away. Fortunately, there was a local man who managed to come closer and took it out of the water. As the rescuer said, he couldn't stand by and watch the desperate animal dying. The dog was taken to the nearest shelter, where it got all the necessary.
Du te împiși, du înaintează și tu un pic, du. Hai.
Ice again, and a new dog. Rescue workers put a fire ladder towards this husky to dispose the weight and not to fall through the ice. The rescue was a success. Like in the following story. However, they had to chase this dog around the frozen lake. The frightened dog fell through the ice. The rescue team had a cold bath too, although they were ready and wore special clothes filled with air to float. The dog was scared and didn't understand what was going on and even tried to bite the rescuers. A crowd of spectators exploded into loud applause to thank the rescuers for a job well done.
Hurrah!
Feathery fellows were more lucky in that situation. They can stay on the water surface. And it's painful to look into these confused and frightened eyes. You are rescued, little thing. This baby holds onto the walls by the skin of his teeth, asking for help. And it was heard. There were unusual rescues, for example, saving a hedgehog with the help of a spade not to prick, saving a little mouse. They are usually afraid of humans, and it's mutual, but not this time. The baby mouse was saved. This cat was so frightened that it could scratch a rescuer. Everything turned out well, and the kitty is in a safe, secure place. And this situation is both sad and funny. This baby fell into the toilet and didn't manage to get out. He might be too curious or thirsty. The daughter cried to her father, "Save it, please." And the man set a wonderful example of courage and kindness to his child and saved the dog that had fallen through the ice in gelid water. Unfortunately, for some reason, dogs are often helpless facing a water disaster. This man jumped to help the dog without a forethought. Look how glad the dog is to see the rescuer. Sweet.
It is a very sad story about the man who had to spend most of his time picking up scraps to earn extra income for his family. One day, he found an abandoned kitten there. Evidently, someone had thrown it in a garbage bag. The man heard the kitten meowing. When the man took it out, the little kitty was all dirty and shivering. The kind man took the kitten home, washed it, dried it, and left it in his house. Just imagine, what could have happened if the man hadn't come to that landfill that day and didn't find the poor kitten?
There are a lot of animals at the landfill walking along in the search of food. This little guy was found starving by people that couldn't pass by. It was winter, which is a rather tough period, especially for such a little thing. The puppy had some blood on its fur, but after checking, it turned out not to have any serious wounds. The people put it in the box and brought it home. They gave him infant milk, then washed and dried the little baby. The baby had been starving for a rather long time, and it needed good food and care. Winter is a really hard time for animals.